buttons on, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So the buttons will just be for show. Okay, so we're going to stitch the buttons on using the sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is change my foot, because if I was to try and use a zigzag stitch with this foot, it would actually catch on the foot and break my needle. So I move the quilter's foot, which is the 1/4 inch foot, and I'll put in this foot, which has got a much wider mouth. Okay, mine just pops in like that. All right, so what we need to do is we're going to lay our button onto where, just about where we'd like it to be. Lift up my foot, get my thread out of the way. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop my needle by hand into that first hole there. Okay, I'm going to put it onto a zigzag stitch. So here is the button. I'm just going to place it roughly whereabouts where I want it, and I'm going to pop it under my needle in. Can you see my needle is slightly on the left side? So I'm going to find that hole on there, and I'm going to pop my needle into it like that, and I'm going to drop my foot. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to look at my stitch length. Okay, and now what you'll need to do is play around with it. Watch as the needle comes up, and then as it goes back down again, if you keep just turn it with your hand, you want to make sure that that needle is going in that second hole. Okay, and you'll have to adjust your stitch length to make sure that needle goes into that second hole. So it should go into that one on that side, and then it should go into this one on this side. And of course it's trying to move forward, so you just want to hold it there for a second whilst you're doing this. Okay, so I'm going to wiggle my foot around, wiggle that button around until I get it so that it's going into that hole. Not quite, just takes a tiny bit of fiddling to get it right, and once you've got it right, you'll be able to put all 3 buttons in. So I would probably need to come along here now and just adjust my length, my stitch, my width of my stitch. This will give you a really small stitch, slightly bigger stitch, right up to a nice big stitch. Okay, so I'm going to just adjust that length, pop it down again so you can see, and then I'm going to drop my needle in to that hole. What you need to do as well is make sure that hole is horizontal. Okay, when it goes down, so I'm just put it so it's just over the top of the hole, get it in there, then bring it over, and it's going beautifully into that hole on the other side now. So just adjust those stitches until it's doing that on both sides. Okay, and then you can take your foot, your pedal, and press your pedal down, and you should get some beautiful stitches to hold your button in place. Okay, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Take that off and snip your threads, and you've got a lovely button held in place. You can put do exactly the same again now. That's all lined up for the stitches, the size of the stitches you want to put on. So you can put one on there and then one on the bottom here, and that will work really quickly. So if you've got a lot of buttons to sew on, it's really easy just to do that. It doesn't take, like, as you saw how quick it was to do. When I do the next one, I'll whip through the next one, you can see how quick it's going to do. Just get it lined up first, make sure that it's lined up. That's it. Pop it in. There you go, and make sure it's going in both holes, because sometimes if it's not horizontal it won't quite go in the hole. So you just need to lift it, move your button just that tiny little bit, get that into your hole, put down, that should, there you go, and there's your button sewn on. Okay, you can see how quickly that does. All right, so get your spacing right and all that. They are easy to come off. If you want to take them off again, just get your quick unpick, place it behind the button there, and just pull it off. Okay, will come off as easy as that, and you can just pop it back on wherever you want it to be. So say if you prefer your button to be over here or over here, just wiggle it around until you get it right. Okay, so that's how to sew on a button.